Hey guys, how are my friends out in Corona land? I guess that's the only way to describe it right now. It just seems like that's kind of taken over our lives right now. And so I thought I'd try to start coming to you guys by video and hopefully giving you a little bit of encouragement or tips along the way for things that might help you um, during this challenging time. And I'm going to do it while I'm packing books because I have a lot of book orders today. And along the way, I'm going to show you the books I'm packing up just because I thought that'd be fun. This one is called Connected: Curing the Pandemic of Everyone Feeling Alone Together. This was written in, let me see what year. 2014. And it's just perfect for the times that we're living in now, right? So, are you one of the people who has found yourself suddenly homeschooling? Even though you may not be the main teacher, you might be the main administrator. And, even in homeschooling, regular homeschooling where it was an intentional choice, that's kind of the way a lot of it has gone to is being a homeschooler, you are the administrator of making sure that your kids learn. And whether that is finding tutoring classes for them, or finding co-op classes, or online classes, whatever, you're making sure that they're learning in the best possible way that you can. And so, if you're one of these people that this has been thrown at you, not by choice necessarily, but it is what it is right now, and you're doing what you have to do, I want to encourage you to make a daily schedule. And it doesn't have to be something that is super strict. In fact, I would encourage for it not to be super strict. When it's super strict, it just feels like you're more likely to add stress to your life. And I am not for you adding stress. Trust me. I feel like the less stress we can have in stressful times, the better, right? But I know that whenever I was teaching my boys at home, one of the things that almost was guaranteed to bring me stress was them acting up and not behaving properly, not behaving the way that they knew they should behave. And I could trace it back on a regular basis to the fact that we had gotten off schedule in some way or another. It might have been that they stayed up too late multiple nights in a row. It might have been that we, had to take some kind of trip, anything. And so when I learned that and learned that my boys did really, really well with a good solid schedule. And so I tried to stick to that as much as I could. And so I made a schedule that was like, okay, we're starting school at 8:30. 8:30 every day. You have to have had breakfast. And let me weigh this package. Pardon me. Whoops. Didn't mean to knock you over there. Yep, just 1 pound. I hate to underguess it, because then somebody might get a postage due. At any rate, having a schedule is super helpful. And so I started out by having this is the time when we wake up and we start school in a day. And from that, we ventured out. So we had to start school. I would tell them, you have to have had your breakfast and be dressed. Those were my 2 rules for starting school. I did not have to necessarily be up. So if they wanted to get up earlier than me, hey, great. That was super. And so that's what we did. And so we had a basic, you work until 11:30, and then at 11:30 we took a break. And that's when I read aloud to them every single day until they graduated from high school. I kid you not. And after that, we had lunch break. And I would typically made their lunch for them, sandwiches, easy stuff. Um, Nothing that was like complicated, more like a supper. And so we did that for 30 minutes, and then we started school back up at 1. And that was our routine for years and years, and it worked. And then we finished school, and this is a key thing I really want to point out to you guys, is we had a finish time also. Some people I know get so stressed because they are still doing school and it's 5 o'clock. No. We did school until 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, the teacher was off the clock. And this was so helpful for me, and I hope it is for you. I was off the clock. I was no longer their homeschool teacher, administrating their tests, making sure they're getting their things done. So at 3 o'clock, we stopped. They still had to have their day's work done, but it was homework. And by doing it that way, the parent then steps in to help with the homework. And so what we did was my husband was in charge of homework, and I was in charge of schoolwork. And it's much different when you're doing homework with your dad versus schoolwork with your mom. And so if they weren't done with their math, he would question them. Why aren't you done? Did mom give you too much? Have you been lazy today? He would try to get to the root of the problem. And maybe that might encourage me to adjust my expectations for them. But 9 times out of 10, it was because they weren't carrying out their responsibilities, because their responsibility was to do their schoolwork. And I didn't assign enough that they could kill themselves off. I mean, that wasn't the point. But by having that ending time, he would work with them in the evenings when necessary. Guess what? That got less and less and less over time. They wanted to be done just like anybody else. And they had to be done, of course, and do it well. If they did poorly, they had to do it over again the next day. And so what ended up happening was, if they knew they couldn't proceed to 5th grade until they had done the 4th grade work, and so they didn't want to do that. So they learned to keep up, and they learned to be self-managing that way. And so I just encourage you to look at your schedule. If you have, if you're a sudden homeschooler and you're in this situation, and maybe you even work from home, it's a little bit of a different challenge, but you can do it. This is the time when you can make your decision that you are going to step up and you're going to put aside things like maybe extensive social media or things that may distract you from the main and plain of your day, and just realize that you are equipped. You are equipped to be the best parent for your child, not your aunt, not your mother, you. You are the best parent for your child, and you can carry this out. But you can't watch movies all day. You can't do Facebook all day. You may have to work at your job all day, and that may be what's the most challenging for you, is to get your schedule tweaked in such a way that it works for your family. But I'm convinced that you can do it, and so I just want to encourage you to take a step back. If it's a pretty day here in Tennessee, step outside. If you can carry your laptop outside and work from outside for a little bit, do so. Get a different view. Rethink your day so that your schedule makes your life more fluid for you and your family. Guys, I hope to check back in with you again soon, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.